When looking at UCLA men's tennis, it would be hard to find a more influential or dominant player than Mike Franks. Playing number one singles all 3 years, Franks helped the Bruins win the 1956 NCAA Team Championship, was an NCAA singles semifinalist, and an NCAA doubles finalist. The two-time All-American would only lose to one player in his collegiate singles career. Following his dominance at UCLA, Franks would enter the pros. Mike would go on to reach the third round at Wimbledon in 1957 and 1964, and the third round of the US Open in 1958. In 1956, Mike would make his US Davis Cup team debut. In his career, Franks was ranked as high as number 3 in doubles in the US in 1956, 1957, and 1959, and as high as number 7 in singles in 1958. Franks defeated some of the game's greatest, including Arthur Ashe, Rod Laver, and Alex Olmedo. Because of his outstanding contributions to tennis, the ITA is excited to induct Mike Franks into the Men's Collegiate Hall of Fame.
I want to thank you for this great honor. I grew up wanting to be a baseball player. I followed the Hollywood stars religiously and wanted to be a shortstop or second baseman. 12 and a half years old, I had a girlfriend that played tennis. Her name was Carol Ackerman. Her father was the tennis coach at UCLA. And he must have been a big shot because there was a hall named after him, Ackerman Hall. She used to tell me about some of the players, and one was named Herb Flam. And 7 years later, I was on the Davis Cup squad with him in Australia. This was probably my biggest thrill in tennis, to be named to that squad. And I didn't know about it, that I was on the team. And I was listening to the radio one night, sports, Bob Kelly speaking of sports, 6 o'clock, drinking my soup, and all of a sudden I heard my name. And I said, oh my God, how great is this? After serving in the Navy, I went around the world for the State Department with Donald Dell. I must have visited 30 countries. We were the first Americans to play in Russia. One of the wonderful things about tennis traveling is that you meet such interesting people. I met the Shah of Iran, the Emperor of Japan, General George Marshall, Neil Armstrong, Teddy Kennedy, and Supreme Court Justice Earl Warren. I had a fulfilling and exciting life, and now to receive this honor is incredibly meaningful and very appreciated. And I want to thank UCLA for what they did for me, and also Coach J.D. Morgan for what he did for me. He was a fabulous coach, and I'll never forget it.